Hey, lovely people. Today we're going to have a quick lesson about the difference between oxymoron and paradox. We're going to talk about oxymoron first because it is simpler. So, an oxymoron is a phrase that's made up of two or more words that actually have opposite meanings. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So, what might you think this is? Jumbo shrimp. All right. So jumbo shrimp, because shrimp is small and jumbo is large, so it's two opposites. But a jumbo shrimp is a large shrimp. Another example is deafening silence. Deafening obviously is something that is loud, and silence is there's no sound. So deafening silence is an oxymoron. This is probably my favorite, living dead. Zombies are oxymorons because they are living, but they are dead, but they are living. Another example, old news. Like somebody tells you something or does a TikTok dance or something, and you're like, man, that's old news, right? But news is new. So, ah, Dodge Ram. So technically, the Dodge Ram that I'm showing you is not really an oxymoron, but I thought this was pretty funny because Dodge means to like get out of the way, and Ram means to like run into something. So Dodge Ram is oxymoron. And I think this is the last one. Clearly confused. Have you ever heard somebody say that to you, or has somebody ever said that to you? You are clearly confused. Well, it's hard to be both, but there you have it. All right, so paradox is a statement that appears at first to be contrary, but after you think about it, it does make sense. So youth is wasted on the young. And that means that, like, so it seems like a paradox, right? Youth is wasted on the young are youthful. How can it be wasted? But what George Bernard Shaw was saying is that um, people who are young don't have the experience to appreciate being young because you don't appreciate things until you've lost it. So when you think about it, it makes sense. But when you just hear it, youth is wasted on the young, sounds like it doesn't make sense. And then the other one is from The Incredible Syndrome says, is everyone is special? No one is. Right? So if everyone's special, no one is doesn't seem to make sense until you think about it. And then that does make sense because if everyone has a superpower, then the powers aren't really super, right? So if everybody is a superhero, then superheroes aren't uncommon and they aren't special. Although if you watch My Hero Academia, this makes a little bit less sense if you think about it in that sense, since in that world, 80% of people have quirks. Anyway, so a paradox is a statement that does make sense after you think about it. And an oxymoron is a phrase that seems to be two contradicting uh, ideas. Oh, I did that backwards, didn't I? All right, so here is a chart that you can look at, and it kind of compares and contrasts paradox and oxymoron. So remember that paradox is a situation or a statement, whereas an oxymoron is a phrase. A paradox can be created using an oxymoron, whereas an oxymoron, you can use that to create a paradox, right? Because this is like a statement or a phrase. I mean, a statement or a situation, sorry. And this one is a phrase. A paradox, it provokes innovative thought. It like stretches your brain, like this guy down here. But an oxymoron is meant to create a dramatic effect, like this lady up here. Okay. Paradox, here's an example. Oops, that's not what I want to do. This double chocolate ice cream is so good, it's evil. Right? So when you think about that, how can it be evil if it's so good? But really, it's so good that it feels like you're doing something bad, like you shouldn't be enjoying something this much. Whereas an oxymoron of something similar would be, this double chocolate ice cream is wonderfully evil, right? Evil and wonderful are kind of opposite things. And this phrase right here is wonderfully evil, is an oxymoron, because it's two contradictory ideas in a phrase. Okay? On your notes, you have this, and then there's a spot for you to write 2 examples. So hopefully you have remembered them from the other 2 slides. And if you didn't, well, you can make up your own. All right, that's it for this quick lesson. See you on the flip.